Hi guys, this is Tallulah, and I am here to do a tutorial on how I did this tag. Well, at least the technique of doing the tag. So I'm going to put this right here so you can see it. The one and only Grand, hi! She wanted to know how I did this, and so I'm going to try to kind of recreate it, but you guys know I can't do the same thing twice exactly. So I'm just going to try to show how I did this in general, and then you can kind of take the technique and go wherever with it. It's and hopefully I'm in frame because I'm using a new I'm actually using an old camera, but it's an old digital camera. So I'm using some Distress inks. A ratty old dirty sponge. This I got from Sheila McNabb right here. She did this homemade one. I need to get a new block, but I mean a new pad. I will be using my opaque pen, but you can do the same thing with a dry brush and some like white acrylic paint, but I'm going to use this because that's what I have. Any other assortment of paints. So I got some Distress markers, watercolor markers, pencils from Faber-Castell. This is just a regular Crayola marker, some glitter glue in whatever color you want to use, and of course some kind of paintbrush with water, and I'm hoping these are all in frame video, that they're clear. So all that. So let's get started because it's not really that a hard technique to use. Basically, I'm going to put down some color. So I want some blue, right? Because when do I not want blue, right? So I'm just going to put some color. If you want to decide where, if you're going to do a scene, decide where you want the lightest parts and the darkest parts. So I'm going to put this light blue stuff in the center, and then just go all over your tag. And I hope this isn't shaking the camera too much. And you could do the same with acrylic paint or inks or whatever. Okay, I'm using this because that's what I used on the other one, and you don't have to get it all covered perfectly. And then you just keep adding your color. I want some of this lighter color here in the center, so it's kind of like a sun. It'll be kind of greenish, but kind of like a sun here in the center. So, you know, just add the colors that you want. Then I'm going to add some of this, it's weathered wood. So, just go down and around. Now, the key to only having to do a couple layers is wherever you think you want the dark. Like I'm going to put my trees down the side. So where's my example? So here's my example that I did for December Daily actually. And I know that I'm going to put my trees here on the side. Okay, so I'm going to put dark underneath so that it'll show through. So I'm going to put this darker weather wood. Okay. And then you definitely want to leave some spaces lighter. And then I'm going to use, this is black soot. And I don't clean my little thing, I just go right over it. So there's some black. Probably don't want it that black. But since it is now, I'm just probably going to go ahead like this. And maybe some here in the corner or in the center. Doesn't really matter. Yep. So I think I like that. But I want some more of the brighter blue. So I'm going to go back and put that right down the center. Yep, I like that. So, it doesn't matter, just go ahead and put what you want in. So here's what my tag looks like so far. So I have this here at the top, and then I have some whatever colors, and then I have some, like I have a light spot here, so that you can see, and then my darks are definitely where I want that. Now, in this case, I want to throw in a red. Just because, since mine's going kind of dark, I want it to kind of be a night, evening, dusk kind of thing. So, I just want hints of red in it. Okay, and it probably doesn't, you probably can't even pick up the difference on the camera. So, there's that section. Let me get it right where you can see it. See? So, there's that. Then the next thing you want to do is take your opaque pen, or you can take your acrylic paint, and then I'm going to show you how to put in the white. So it's very simple. I'm going to take the thicker end, so maybe you can see it, the chiseled end of my pen, and then I'm just going to kind of like, okay, let me show, kind of go through how I see it. I kind of see this as a centerpiece here, and here it's kind of like, I actually could do one big tree, because actually what I see is from here, like a trunk, like there's a trunk, and then a big tree, you know, the big tree of it here, and then that could be smaller trees like down here, or a hill or something. So what I think I'm actually going to do, because this is what I see in here, is I'm going to go ahead and do a bush. Like if you can see, I don't know, can you see like the outline right there? So I'm going to do a bush. So bushes typically have their leaves go up. So notice I'm just dabbing this in the shape, and I'm not covering all the dark. I'm leaving dark. Right? So this kind of looks like that kind of tree. I don't know, can you see that? When I edit the video, maybe I can add it. Okay? So I went over it. That's going to dry a little bit. And then over here, well, see, now I changed my mind, because at first I saw a big one there. But because of the way this did, I see a different tree right here. That's kind of like a, I don't know what you call them trees, but like this here. And you know, the bottom typically comes out more. And you can go over into the other bushes, because trees overlap. So, let's see, am I in the right place? Okay. So it kind of looks like bushes over here to me. Like fern trees, is that what they're called? Or pine trees. I don't know, but it looks like little bushes instead of trees. But you would do the same thing. So it looks like a bush theme here. Okay, so there's one right there. Here's one, and then maybe, maybe like a, I don't know, I kind of like it this way. Let me fill this in some more. Right, and then so when you go back over it, and it dries a little more, then you have that going on. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and pull this up like that. Yeah, and then I'll put one like it's off the page here, so it's a little bit further back. So it would come like this, and then up the side. So let me move it over so you can see. I'm hoping you can see this, so that this one comes like this off the page, and then has some little branches that go behind. Right, and then so you give that a moment to let it dry. So I'm going to turn this off, and then I'll come back. Okay, now what I thought I'd do, I thought I would just go ahead and show you how to do it with some acrylic paint. So I have this Sargent Art acrylic paint. I got it at Hobby Lobby for $2.99, and you know I used a coupon, or it was on sale. So, you know, it's just some acrylic paint. I mean, you're not doing artist gallery artist type work, so there's no point in spending buku money on stuff when you don't need to. And then what I've done is I've taken a dry brush. This brush is dry. There's no water in it at all. And I'm actually using, is it a flat brush? It has a little bit of a, no, it's a square one. It just looks like that because of the way I did it. So all I'm going to do is take some of this white. Ooh, I wasn't supposed to do that. That wasn't part of the plan. Hey, that's what you get. Live TV, although it's not live. I'm recording it, but still, you know, that's not what we wanted. I'll take some of that off, and I'm just going to stick it in the pan. Put it in the lid. But here is another thing, so I can go ahead and do this part since we're here. Okay, if I want kind of a snow ground here, right? So I can just actually take that paint, and because it's on there, and just go ahead and I want it to look like snow with the beginning of a pond here in the center. So I'm just going to go ahead and take what is left on that paint, what we have left, and just do what I was going to do later. I'll just do it now. And to make, I'm doing it at an angle, but to make the ground, if you want it to go straight across, you just go straight across with your brush stroke. See, straight across, right? Straight across here, because I want it to come out like that. And then, so it would look like this, okay? And then, you know, you pull it straight, okay? Because if you don't pull it straight, it won't look like the land. And then this is what would have happened anyway later on. So I have my paint for my trees, right? You see here my trees, and then I put in my paint. Well, I kind of like where this part is going, so it's kind of creating this little thing back here. So I'm just going to go ahead and work my paint over the stuff I already painted. And I might as well go ahead and use this. I guess this is a tutorial, live demonstration, whatever you want to call it now. And yeah, yes I did. I just covered up that bottom of that tree. But it's okay, because I like this better. So I'm going to do that. Now, because see, remember I had the dark underneath. See how I don't have to do shading? Because the dark is already there. So all I'm doing is putting white paint over it. Right? Because I kind of want this little, like little path back there. So I'm just putting this white paint back on it, because I changed what I wanted to do now. And I can just go and move it. Alright? So, now see how this isn't straight, it's kind of like slanted, so it doesn't look right. It actually looks kind of like splashes or something. So we're going to do that. Alright, does that make sense? And then I'll come back and do something else with it, because, you know, that's what I do. So here we go. There's that. Now, let's see. I kind of want to go back in with some brown. So I'm going to take like a brown, excuse me. Let's see. I like to test my color, so I just sit there and test it. This is actually a gold Sargent. It's very cheap. It's a Sargent pencil. So I'm going to go in here, and then I'm going to put in my tree trunk. Okay. So I'm just going to put in the tree trunk here, right over the original paint. So I think you should see that, because I think I'm in film, in frame I should say. So here's a little piece, and here's a little piece, and here's a piece. And no, it's not real. Now you can make it really stark if you want to, but. And then I'm going to go into this one. And then I decided I wanted something different, so we're going to go here. I'll put like a couple there, and maybe a craggly something looking there, and here. And you probably can't even see it. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it's in there. And then over here would be more like, this is the trunk on the ground, and it starts to show on the edge. Okay, so I can see it, and I'm hoping that it shows. Okay, now there's that part. So I put in those. Okay, you could do a different color. You could do there's all kinds of things. You could do a different color. You could do a different scheme. You know, it's just endless of what you can do. Okay, now I am going to go ahead and, I guess this also counts as my doodle day. This is a multitasking kind of video here, y'all. Alright, here's my water brush. So, the water brush is basically, you squeeze it, and it's one of those cheap where you get 3 of them for $5. I got it at Hobby Lobby as well. It's cheap. Like I said, it's not like we're Rembrandt, trying to be Rembrandt all the time. So, get your brush wet. You don't want it sopping wet, because then you can't, you know, I'm not using watercolor paper, I'm using a tag, so, and you can just start moving some of that paint. And if you don't like your water brush, you can do the same thing with your other brush. See, now I like that better. because it's going straight across, even though it looks like it's slanted. I'm going straight across. So now see how it looks like there's like kind of a path going back there, and I'm getting smaller as I go back. Okay. Now, yeah, you can cover up some of your other stuff. It doesn't matter. See, this part right here, to me, it looks like a little waterfall. So we can go like that. So I will probably take my watercolor pencil and let's do this darker color. Well, let's do a Ranger. We can do a Ranger. Faded Jeans is the one I have, and I'm going to go and down, and down, and down, and down, right? And then when I pull the color out, do the same thing. And then see now how it looks like it went over this little hill. Let me see if I can do it again for you. If you go out and down, out and down, out and down, out and down. Okay. And then do the same thing with the brush. It now makes it look like it's falling down into the water. Then you go straight across again. See? See that? See? 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 Straight across again. And I can do it with the pencil so you can see it. Well, let me do it with the side. Go across. Okay. Then I'm going to have to add some more water to get it to move. So I'm just going to go down and go straight across. Go straight, 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 straight. So now it looks like it came down from this little hill into here. And you get it to go straight across again. Whoop. There we go. Straight, 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 straight. And then I want, like this is frozen water, so I want this to be a little less frozen and more like the water because it's closer to you, so it's going to be brighter anyway. Okay. And I hope I'm still filming. And just move that color straight across. Okay, now because I got that little round curve in it, you can... Hi you guys. Okay, so I'm continuing and I'm hoping that this goes okay because I had to switch cameras because my other one died, no batteries. So here is the piece when I ended it. So here's your trees, whatnot, and then the little lake that I put on here at the bottom. Okay, so I was cleaning this up with some water is what I was trying to do here. Okay, get that. So it kind of does what you want it to do. And okay, so there you go. So there's that. So I'll put that in there. All right, let me go ahead and get to the trees because I think that's basically what she wanted. And I'm sorry, the one and only Grand. I just went off on a little tangent, did I? Well, this part is dry anyway, so now we can go ahead and put on the glitter glue to get that effect of the dimension in the trees, as well as, you know, the sparkle. You gotta have the sparkle. So hopefully I'm in frame here. I am just using some regular old Studio G glitter glue, and this is the clear kind, and it has like the iridescent in it. So that is what I'm using. All I'm going to do is just squiggle it on where I think there would be highlights in my trees. Right? So I'm going to squiggle that on. And I'm going to have this tree here. And I decided I'm going to make this one a little smaller. So I'm just going to stop here. Like I have the leaves all the way down here, but I'm going to stop on this branch right here. Just because I want to. But I do think I'm going to make it go higher, so I'm going to add some up here, even though there's nothing there yet. So I'm going to add that, because I want this one to be a little bit bigger. This one I want to be a little smaller as well, so I'm going to put some here, just where, and I'm just pretty much literally scribbling it on where I think I want it And you don't want to cover every single little dot, because then, you know, you probably can't even see the glitter glue. I don't know if you can or not. Okay, and then the tree here on the side, I'm pretty much going to leave it the way it is because I pretty much like that. So I'm just going to do a little bit here. And I also decided that I want this one more in the front, so I'm probably going to make it go across this way a little more. And I do want it to pretty much go all the way down there. So this tree will have way more, even though it's half off the page. This will have less, and then I think I might make this wider. Oops, don't want that there. And like I did just there, you can just pull it off. And it won't really matter as far as the tree part goes, because I'm going to go back over this. Alright, and then I want some in the snow, so I'm just going to go straight across, like here at the bottom of this tree. I'm going to go straight across and then do like a little straight there. So it looks like a, you can't see it, but it'll follow the contour of what I want to make. And then this one, I'll do the same thing. So I kind of want it to go straight across here. And then like a little hill that kind of goes down. And then I want it to do the same thing down here. So I went down like this and then straight across to give it that. Then I want a little bit of the bubbly here because it's going to go across there. Maybe a little bit there to make it sparkly. And then a little bit here because I want this to go down like that, straight across. And you can put some in the water like that, especially like here in this section. And then here. So I can put a little hill there. And then here. And then let's do this. There's a little hill going down here if you can see it, and then go straight across. And then I kind of want a rock right there, so that's why I'm leaving that kind of empty. Okay, then of course that has to dry because you can't go back over it until it is dry. I mean, I guess you could, but it kind of is a mess. So that's what that looks like at this stage. I don't know if you can see the glitter. And notice I've changed the placement in the stuff where I want to go. It doesn't matter. You just keep on working it until you get it where you want it to go. Alright, I'll see you in the next section. Hey guys, okay, so I'm back. I had to let everything dry, and I hope that this is in focus because, let's see if that'll focus it. Because I can't really tell on this camera, the second camera. Yeah, so it should be in frame here. Now, as you can hear, the glitter glue, which was my last step, has dried. So what I'm going to do is, you could leave it like this, but there's not as much definition, so you can't see as much on here. So what I'm going to do is go back over with the opaque pen, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Okay. Now, originally, remember, I had this tree in the front, so since I'm not going to have it in the front anymore, I'm going to make this tree bigger. I'm going to just kind of not do this one as quote-unquote white and not all the way down. Okay, so they go like this. And again, you could do the same thing with a stiff brush. But I kind of don't want to. And you could use a different color. You could use green. You could use a green on the bottom and then go over it with white in places. You could use, you know, whatever. Multiple colors. Now remember, this one, I wanted to have more of the tree trunk down here and then the white going up. So I'm just going to go over this one where I want it. And remember, leave places where the black shows through. And then change where you put it. So I'm using the chiseled end and it's going over this one, and the more you put down, the wider it is, so it looks like it's in front of this tree. And I'm not worried about, then when I wanted to go up that way, I just changed the angle. Okay, so there you go with that one. So you can see this tree is a little more in front. And now I'll make it way more in front, like that. There you go. And then this one is like half off the page. So all I'm going to do is, like, remember I said I wanted it to come down here, so I'm going to make the dots go over this way. Seeing how it looks, and the further you go over the other tree in the direction, like if I want like kind of like a hole there. And then notice how the center branch that we put in there, or the trunk, it looks like it's partially covered, and it just looks awesome. Awesome! And then we get that to go off the page like that. And then put a little bit that way. So, see how that works in there? And then if you want some more, I don't know if I can get it, if it'll zoom in and focus. So, I kind of want a little more separation here. So I could do a couple things. I can go and I'm going to just put a little bit of this blue on this thing and take my thing and get it all, and then go back in here with either, let's see, do I want blue? I want to make it a little darker, so I'm probably going to go with a darker color. So here's my water color. Take this and then go where I want it darker. Or I could do this too. I can just go ahead and color it in there. So in some of these places, because I want it to look like this tree is behind this one, I'll go around this tree, right? Put some more into this tree because it should be darker, right? I want some separation in the trees. So it should be darker back here, right? And then go back in, water it in, water it in, right? Right. See that? See that? So then it kind of disappears back there a little bit, pushes it back like there's a shadow. And if I don't like that color, because now to me it looks kind of too purpley instead of blue, I can always go back with my chisel end of white and go over this so this tree sticks out, and then I can cover up some more of that. Right, right. And then if I want some more paint down here, like I kind of want this now to go here, like boop, boop, boop. And I just can just color that right on over it. And then remember we put the glitter glue down there, so now you see sparkliness. So this kind of has a little heel, so I just kind of make the little heel and then go straight. I want a little heel over here, so then go straight. Do a little heel, straight, so that it all comes straight. Do a little heel here, then straight. Doot doot. So as long as you go straight, right? That's a family secret. Mm-hmm. And we'll just put back in some and then go straight again. Right. And then, so if you want to make like the shoreline, I'm going to go in with, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go in with this pencil. And I hope you can see, because I want to make this little shoreline. So you can see like there's a section there. And it's all about straight. Go straight. Don't curve it. And then straight up here. Okay, straight this way. Straight across. So then it'll look right. And then you can put a little line there. And go straight this way. And here's a little edge for the ice. Right? Little edge, little edge. And then like this little edge is coming here. And then you can get that to go straight again. And then here. I'm hoping you can see. And I hope this answers a bunch of your questions. And if there's anything, you know, like you see here, I'm just rubbing stuff in. So we can put that in there. Rubbing lines in that I want. There. And I'm hoping you can see. Right? And then you just keep doing it, building up your thing. So I kind of want more here. Alright. And then I kind of want it to look like there's a kind of boulder right here underneath this snow. And like I said, I am not a planner type artist, I guess. I don't know if you even consider it artist. You know, I am not a planner type artist. I go with what comes out on my page until I like it. And that pretty much is what I have now. And I want to go back in some of these trees. And then like I just used the gold, but if you want to use another color, say black, maybe I want to make some of these a little blacker, like black down here and the tree trunks over here. If you just want to make stuff stand out a little more. You know, like you could put part of it so it stands out like this, and maybe that's really dark, and this is actually going to be darker back here. So just straight across, straight across, straight back this way, and then have a little down here, and then here. Sort of like this rocky thing going on there. And it also kind of pushes this back so it looks like there's something in front. And then it'll keep on going off in this direction. So, anything else you can add to it. Just gonna smooch, smush it. There we go. So, there's my tag. It's very, I guess this is a long video, I don't know. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So, there's my tag. And you will see that it is similar to the other one, except I lost the other one. So I hope that answers some questions. I'll try to take some pictures at the end so that you can at least see it clearly. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.